The Lightning F.53 is a premium British jet in War Thunder and a new twist on an old favorite. Let's check it out. The original English Electric Lightning was a Cold War-era interceptor developed in the United Kingdom to defend against the potential threat of Soviet bombers. However, over time it was also adapted into a few other roles and offered for export to some of the UK's allies. The F-53 version was an export model based on the F-6 and had provisions for ground attack munitions as well as some alterations to its avionics systems. The F-53 was used by both Kuwait and Saudi Arabia, but proved somewhat unpopular as both nations experienced some really serious problems with maintenance and logistics that limited the usefulness of the planes. Modifications in the F-53 model included provisions for mounting bombs on the outer wing pylons, modification to the overwing pylons to carry rocket pods, and an attack system with ground attack modes in addition to air interception modes. Kuwait retired the Lightning after barely 10 years of service, but Saudi Arabia kept them on in secondary roles into the mid-1980s. What we get in War Thunder is the Lightning F-53. This is a premium jet fighter in rank 6 of the British Air Tree, with a battle rating of 9.3. The weapon system includes a set of two 30mm Aiden cannons and the Mark 23 radar set. This is a relatively basic search and track radar with no advanced features, but it works. The weapon selection allows rockets or dumb bombs to be taken on the wing pylons, a pair of rocket pods above each wing, and either missiles or more rockets on the chin. If you take the extra rockets instead of the missiles on the chin, they end up housed in retractable bays that are extended or closed with your bomb bay keybind. There isn't any ballistics computer, so all of the air-to-ground weapons are fired blind, and the Aiden cannons are in the belly mount, same as the regular Lightning, which can make them a little difficult to aim. The first air-to-air missile it carries is the Fire Streak. This is a basic infrared missile with medium performance that you might have seen on some other British jets. The F-53 also gets the Red Top missile. This is another medium performance infrared missile, but it's superior to the Fire Streak in every way. Since this is a premium aircraft, you get all of the weapons unlocked right from the start, so the Red Top is going to be your choice in basically every circumstance. The flight performance of the Lightning F-53 is broadly similar to the Tech Tree Lightning. Insane engine power, a moderate ability for supercruise, and a surprising amount of agility at higher speeds. The plane still dumps off energy really fast in turns though, so if it gets sucked into a conventional dogfight, it can struggle pretty bad after just 2 or 3 maneuvers. It also still suffers from a really low maximum redline, and it can rip its wings off in level flight if you punch the afterburner for a couple of minutes. Keep in mind, at lower speeds, this thing is a serious whale, and it can quickly find itself falling out of the sky like a brick during a slow-crawling rate fight at low altitudes. Similarly, if attacking ground targets, making longer passes through the battlefield and turning around farther from the action offers a better margin of safety than trying to dodge and weave over the battlefield at lower altitudes. As always, taking external weapons can seriously hinder this plane's flight performance, and the overwing rocket pods especially seem to really tank its low-speed performance even harder, so be careful with those. Taking the F-53 out into combat gives the option of flying out as an interceptor, in the same role as the Lightning F-6, or flying out with an air-to-ground loadout as a strike fighter. To be very blunt, this plane suffers badly from the lack of a ballistics computer. the bombs are thrown blind and take quite a bit of practice to use effectively. And the rockets, oh boy. The rocket pods are spread out all over the plane, and the different rocket pods have entirely different ballistics. The overwing pods especially are quite difficult to aim, but the silver lining is that you get a lot of ammo, and the rockets themselves are generally good even if they're not accurate. So if you do manage to hit something, it's probably going to blow up. You can also just fly out with the red tops in a conventional fighter role, and this plane is just as good as its tech tree brother as an interceptor. Just keep in mind that the belly-mounted guns still have really weird ballistics, and as I mentioned in my review of the Lightning F6, they're quite difficult to aim, and honestly, I never got a good comfort level with the cannons on this one. Still, the plane gives UK pilots a premium supersonic jet with some ground attack capability, even if it's got a little bit of a learning curve. Visually, well, the elephant in the room is those rocket pods on top of the wings. You're either going to love them or hate them. Otherwise, it looks just like the regular Lightning F6. You get a couple of options for Royal Saudi Air Force paint jobs, which is a nice bit of flavor, I think. And although I didn't use it in the footage, I think the desert camo looks really good on this plane. The landing performance is broadly similar to the Lightning F6 in the tech tree, but just remember the caveats about the low-speed performance suffering pretty bad if you have the overwing rocket pods. They don't detach when they're empty, so try to make sure you line up a straight final approach without too many S-turns below 400 kilometers an hour. The cockpit is beautifully detailed, with a visible B-scope and clear instruments. But for some reason, flying this in VR, I felt like I was squished up against the instrument panel. It's hard to describe. Not a bad cockpit, I just felt a bit cramped. To close out on the Lightning F.53. This plane has access to an inappropriate quantity of unguided rockets. It's basically made out of engine power, and it's got loadout options that give some good flexibility with mission profiles. Plus, it gets premium bonuses. However, it lumbers in the air at lower speeds. It doesn't have a radar warning receiver or countermeasures. Its flight performance goes down the drain if you load up with those rockets. Its cannons are difficult to aim, and it's yet another ground attack jet without a ballistics computer. The final verdict on the Lightning F.53 is that if you're looking for a high-tier British premium jet that can do ground attack and air combat, this isn't a bad choice, and it's significantly faster than the Harrier, which is the other option as of making this video. However, the lack of a ballistics computer really limits its potential. Overall, it's pretty average for a premium jet with some strengths and some compromises. As always, thanks for watching.